that's what's, your pipe strain is strictly gonna come back to that issue. And like I said, I don't know, that's something that time will tell on that type of stuff. However, like I said, on the horizontal pumps, it's easy to tell if you have pipe strain. If your alignment starts going, haywire after 6 months, 7 months of service, there's pipe strain issues going on. And like I said, these do get affected a lot by pipe strain. Other than that, it still has the Cheston 442 split seals on it. The only difference is going to be, now we're getting into the smaller seals, which become a lot more complex. Again, it's the exact same seals as the bigger pumps. The difference is now, again, when I was making comments that they're very, as far as technical ability goes, it's a very low scale that is not too complex. However, it's cumbersome for larger hands. When you start dealing with the smaller pumps, they become very cumbersome as far as installing these type of mechanical seals. On some of these pumps, I've actually even preferred, especially this is a 3-inch pump, I've actually preferred to not even treat it as a split seal, to actually, if the seal fails, pull the pump right apart, change out the whole seal as a component, putting everything back together again and putting it all back together as one complete assembly. Because again, it gets to the point, and I've got pretty small hands, it gets to the point that once you start dealing with 4-inch and under pumps, split seals actually become more complex, not because of the complexities in the seal, but because of the complexities as far as hands trying to hold together a bunch of small parts as far as keeping everything together so you can put it together. So again, that's the difference with the mechanical seal. It's going to be the exact same seal. It's just going to be, like I said, now it's in a horizontal plane. You have the luxury of gravity holding up a lot of the seal components in your other pumps. You can put everything together on the stuffing box and everything stays right there while you kind of grab other parts and hold everything together. When it's in a horizontal plane, you don't have that luxury. You put parts up there, if you take your hands off, everything falls back off again. So it's a little more complex, and that's why I'm saying each one has their own abilities as far as the complexities go. It's not a very difficult seal. It is a fairly easy seal. The complexities come with man-hand trying to hold. This is, if God gave us 3 hands for everybody, it would be a piece of cake. The problem is we don't have 3 hands, and even if you get somebody helping you, it's an extra body in the way. Where sometimes it's 3 hands are nice, but 3 arms and 2 bodies is kind of a bit much to kind of get together and try to hold things all together. So again, when you're dealing on the smaller pump, it's probably not going to be a bad idea. Just pull the pump out of the location, put it on the workbench someplace up clean, where now if someone wants to help you, you can get around. You're not working on a floor in a corner someplace, dark and grungy. Because again, it's not a hard seal, but it can be frustrating because of the small things. The more and more you deal with these seals, like I said, you're going to get familiar with them. It's an easy seal. It's just the complexities come with the handling of the parts and the size of your fingers. Just a very straightforward motor on these, which does also recommend your grease, NLGI #2 grease, and again tells you at your RPMs on your lubrication lubrication periods on these things, as far as every 2 years, 3 years. Depending on where these pumps are located and if it's in a dry area, very wet area, is going to, I would recommend, if it's in a wet location, to increase the recommended grease intervals a little bit more. Make it more frequently. If it says once a year, do it, give it a couple squirts twice a year. If it's in a very damp, nasty area where everything seems to be rusting up, again, treat it as that type of situation where you're keeping a little more grease into it. Again, on the pump, I've had many of these ball bearings in the pump. It's a big, heavy-duty industrial ball bearing that's in there. I don't know if you guys have taken these things apart before, but it's a very heavy-duty bearing that they use on it, which can last you a lifetime if grease is kept clean and you keep adding grease at least once a year into the pump itself. They last a long, long time. But other than that, if you guys have any questions or anything I'd help with, and the only other question I have is, did you guys want to take a walk down? I haven't seen these pumps, so I don't know where they stand as far as how much has been installed and how much there's to see and stuff, but we can certainly take a walk to the pumps if you guys would like to see the pump and have any questions that you might have at that time. So, all right. With that, again, like I said, these are, again, pieces of information. By no means is this your O&M manual. Again, this class and this tape is not meant as a Fairbanks Morse pump instruction manual or video. It is strictly for video purposes, for future, for refreshing as far as what stuff goes. If you have any questions, concerns, actually look into the operation and maintenance manual. You'll have more information in there. If that question does not answer what your questions are, if there's no answers you can find in there, then please call Hayes Pump or call one of the many qualified Fairbanks Morse Pump Corporation personnel. They can answer many questions over the phone and help you with that type of stuff. If you have safety, operation, any type of questions at all, again, like I said, don't refer to the video. Please refer to the maintenance manual or contact someone at Fairbanks Morse Pump Corporation. Other than that, thank you, gentlemen, and we can take a stroll down to the pumps. This is going to be your tank drain pump. Again, it's a higher viscosity pump, but again, it's not as high a viscosity as your bigger RAS pump, so that'll be moving some water. With a seal flush coming in, your Woods coupling installed, and chested in 442 split seal installed right in there. So you do have a Woods coupling up here as opposed to the fault couplings on the other ones. The mechanical seals are going to be the exact same situation as on the RAS pumps. It's again in a vertical position. The seals are going to be the same type size seal. The opening is going to be about the same. The only difference is this is a little bit lower now, so it's going to be a little bit, it's almost workbench height, where you're not kind of working up at a little bit of an angle on those other pumps up there. Seal installation, again, you're always going to want to get water going into your mechanical seal. So while this is running, you always want to make sure your valves are open. These are usually run on a solenoid valve, which I don't see. So usually these have a solenoid valve, so when you want to, you're at your office and you flip something on. I don't see a solenoid valve in here though. Oh, you know what? They haven't had it wired up yet. So once they have it all wired up, yes, it'll be something that you can just flip on. All the valves will be open. It's just a matter of turning it on, making sure the water comes in here. You're going to want to just basically monitor your water pressure. And again, you're going to want at least a minimum of 1 gallon a minute. 1 gallon, 1.5 gallons a minute. Anything over that's a little overkill. You're just wasting water. Again, I don't know if it just recycles itself again and again and again. If it is, it's not going to hurt it. But again, between 1 and 1.5 gallons a minute. 1 gallon a minute right there. That's all you're going to want. Make sure it stays around 1 gallon a minute. And again, it's the same as all the seals. That should be more than enough water to lubricate it, keep everything wet and good. Your clearances, again, all your clearances are going to be done up here. As I stated before, when you make your clearance adjustments, I always recommend sticking a shim pack in one side and going around sticking the shim pack in on the other side. So as you tighten up, you make sure that as you tighten it, everything stays flat. It doesn't start caulking itself. As you can see how the bolts are spread out, it doesn't take much to over-tighten one from another where everything instantly starts caulking. It doesn't lay straight. Other than that, you're in a registered fit here, registered fit there, so everything should be truly centered on the coupling. We will verify everything, make sure everything is good once we fire everything up. Just sweep with a laser and just make sure everything looks good. So this is your waste activated sludge pump. It's a Fairbanks Morse 5444 horizontal mounted pump. Fault coupling in there. Everything looks pretty good. There are 4 grease points. You are going to have a grease point on the motor, thrust bearing on the motor, your radial bearing on your motor. You are going to have a grease fitting. They got it tucked away inside. You have to take your coupling guard off to get at it, but it's right on the lower half of your bearing housing is a grease fitting for your thrust bearing on your pump. And on the inboard side, there's a grease fitting on the inside. It's right there. So those are your 4 grease points along with your coupling that needs to be periodically greased. Your piping support is all here. You got piping support on your discharge side, piping support on your suction side. Pipe support should be within 3 feet of your suction flange. It's definitely all there. Looks good. All reinforced angle iron. Not a problem. Everything looks good. Again, clearance adjustments are made right through this bearing cap by tightening and up, loosening these 6 bolts right up through here. Can be made, which will bring in and out your impeller for your clearance adjustments. The mechanical seal is a chested in 442 split seal right inside here. Same as all the others, just mounted horizontally. This is the RAS pump. I don't know if you can hear me at all. Okay. It's a Fairbanks Morse 5741 pump. It's a vertical mounted pump. It's got the fall coupling mounted on the inside. Got the fall coupling. Piping is properly supported with a discharge manifold. And again, your suction side supported with a concrete support also. And again, it's got the chested in 442 split seal in there with the easy access for disassembly and assembly. And again, these are your inspection covers. You got an inspection cover here and an inspection cover here for pulling out, removing debris. Inspection cover, we can actually see inside the impeller to see if there's anything clogged up in the impeller. And again, you have register fits in here. Again, everything sits in a registered fit to make sure your coupling alignment's true and close to perfect as possible.